Hi, I'm Jules Taggart, Chief Content Marketing Officer over at Amp&Pivot.com. And today's question really isn't from one person in particular. I hear this question a lot, and so I wanted to make sure and address it in one of these videos. So the question is, how do I avoid gaps in sales? So periods of time where maybe for a week or 2 weeks, maybe even a month or longer, where you're just not selling what you're normally used to selling. And the answer to this is to avoid gaps in marketing. So a lot of times when you see a gap in sales, you look back 30, 60, or 90 days and you may have been like sort of slacking on the marketing during that time. Well, when you're slacking on the marketing in the past, it's going to catch up to you in the form of lower sales in the future. So I've got a couple tips for you on how you can avoid those gaps in marketing so that you can avoid gaps in sales down the road. And the first one is to identify your busiest times. So what are the times of the year for you that are the busiest of all? And for me, it tends to be the fall. I'm busiest in the fall. Most of my clients are prepping for the new year and trying to make sure that they're making good use of their budget for this year. And so I'm usually very busy in the fall. So I see that coming and I plan for it. And that's the second part of this. So once you identify your busiest time, planning for it. Ask yourself 3 questions. What can you automate? What can you delegate? And what can you put systems in place for? So first, automation. Are there emails that need to go out? Are there newsletters that need to be created? Are there blog posts that need to be pushed through? And whatever those things are that you normally do on a regular basis, how can you automate them? Now, you may not be able to automate writing a blog, but you could probably automate the process of getting it into your newsletter and getting your newsletter sent out. Or if you're always running a course and you are always selling that course and there are autoresponders or emails that are going out to market that course, put those in place in advance and schedule them so that they go out. Schedule your social media in advance, those kind of things. Those are ways to automate. Delegate. Look at the things that you do most often and decide which ones are really worthy of your time. And if they aren't something that you do really well, then maybe it's time to delegate it and to either look to somebody that you could trade services with or someone that you could hire to help you do that piece of the puzzle. And then the last thing is putting systems in place. So what are some things that you do really often that you aren't going to necessarily delegate right now, but you might in the future? Those are really good ideas for places where systems are going to be helpful. So going back to that blog post from earlier, if you write a blog post every week and you know that you need a certain number of tweets to go with it, you need a certain picture and it has to be a certain size, how can you put a system in place and get all of that information out of your head so that when it is time to either hire or delegate that to someone else, that it is easy to take off your plate during your busiest time of the year, which you've already identified. So those are a few quick tips on how you can avoid those gaps in sales by avoiding gaps in marketing. If you've got a question, send it to marketingninja@ampandpivot.com and I'll be sure to answer it in a future video.